really creates a safe space for him to really explore his true self within and to know that he's going to be unconditionally loved and accepted by his divine feminine. Welcome back, everyone, to Twin Flames Universe, where you will discover Twin Flames' eternal love and spirituality. I am Ascension Coach Kanisha, and today's video and topic are the 3 things that the Divine Masculine deeply desires in his heart. But before we get started, let's go ahead and just take a second to relax, grab a pen and paper, maybe a drink, and just sit back and really take in the information that I'm going to give you. And also don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can receive more videos on how to really deeply love your harmonious twin flame union. All right, so the first thing the Divine Masculine deeply desires in his heart is to be received by his Divine Feminine. He wants to be heard. He wants for you to be able to listen and receive what he's saying to you. He wants to be able to feel like it's safe to express himself, to be vulnerable, to be seen. All of these things that maybe the world and society doesn't really allow the Divine Masculine to express. He wants to be able to do that with you and for you to fully receive him. And so how the Divine Feminine can do that is by being very present with their Divine Masculine, very present with yourself. And it's really the same at the core and in your heart that as the Divine Feminine, you desire to be received too. In this world where the Divine Masculines are told that they have to earn their value or earn their worth, and that they're not really valuable or worthy unless they prove themselves and prove their worth. And so when their Divine Feminine can just receive them as they are, as their natural, authentic self, this really allows the Divine Masculine to blossom, to become the Divine Masculine that God called him to be. And it really creates a safe space for him to really explore his true self within and to know that he's going to be unconditionally loved and accepted by his Divine Feminine. That is what they really desire in their heart, is to be fully accepted and received by their Divine Feminine. And so that means it doesn't really matter how much money they make or what their career or job is, or if they have a house. When you truly are with your Divine Masculine, and that is who you're created for, you'll find that none of those things really matter. None of those worldly things really are important. They're part of your support and part of your foundation. You will find that God will support you in that way and move through your masculine in those ways. But it really reminds me of my gurus, Jeff and Shalia, where Jeff just was living in like a hut, and Shalia was like, well, as long as he has drive, as long as he's willing to pursue his dreams and his goals, it doesn't matter what he has right now. This is the man that God has for me. And I say yes to him, and I say yes to my union. And now they really have abundant and beautiful life. And I moved through this personally with my own Divine Masculine, where I was like, I don't care what you have. I genuinely just want to be with you. And for him, that was very receiving for him to be able to have someone who just wanted him for him and not for the things that he has. The second thing that the Divine Masculine really desires in his heart, but he may not say this, is the Divine Masculines really love to be romanced. And I think in a society where it's always about the man always having to pursue and always having to prove that he wants you and having to do all these lavish things, it really is important as the Divine Feminine to really romance your Divine Masculine. And that can be you planning a date or a trip, or you getting their favorite things, maybe their favorite snacks, or making their favorite meal, really loving them in the way that they desire to be loved. And sometimes the way that they want to be romanced might be a little different than the way that you want to be romanced. So it's important to get to know your Divine Masculine and really learn how to love them in the way that they are desiring to be loved. And so that might be getting to know their love language. My divine masculine's love language is acts of service, but I do find that he actually loves kind of all of the love languages. He really thrives in me giving words of affirmation or actually doing things that maybe he spoke on. One time he talked about this specific scent in the home when he gets home, and so I made sure that when I cleaned the house, that scent was going. When he came home, he was like, oh, this just feels so good. It feels so relaxing. He felt really at home. And he had only said it once. And so for him to come home and receive that, to be able to have that, and me only, or for him to only say it once and me to hear him, he was like, wow, like she really does listen to me. And for him, again, that goes back to number one, feeling received and heard. But that really, it was a way to romance him. Another way that I really like to personally romance my man is I listen to some of the things that he says throughout his day. And so when I'm able to really listen to those things, I'm able to start implementing those throughout my day or throughout the week. And he really just feels loved in that space. So there are many ways that you can romance your divine masculine, but it really is getting to know them on a deep level and really getting clear on what they love and then doing that for them without any expectation of getting something in return. Like you genuinely are doing it just to love them and just to really give in that space, and only as you're called to. So when I say that, it's important that you're not just giving to try to get something back, because then that doesn't feel good and that doesn't really work in a twin flame relationship, because that's very conditional. And so when you give to your masculine, you want to do it from a place of peace. You want to do it from a place of inspiration, and you really want to make sure that it's also from a place of unconditional love without any expectation of something in return. And then the last thing that the divine masculine really desires in their heart is for their divine feminine to relax. And this used to be very triggering for me, because I used to be a divine feminine that would really work in a masculine energy. Being a single parent and also being in the workforce, I was always moving in a masculine energy. And so it was very hard for me to relax, especially on my days off when it's time for me to just rest. My mind was always going. I was always doing something. I was always in action. And my nervous system was always in a frenzy, and it was very hard for me to relax. So when someone would tell me to relax, it would trigger me like no other. But it's actually very loving to the divine masculine if their divine feminine can just relax and just be and really choose their peace. Because when you do that, that invites the divine masculine to do the same. And it's really important that when you are around your divine masculine, that you are present and that you are choosing to just relax into your union, relax into that space. And that's really going to allow things to unfold naturally and just really create a beautiful and harmonious space for your union. And so if I find that if my masculine isn't relaxing, it's because he's mirroring to me where I'm not relaxing. And as soon as I choose to just rest and relax into my peace and choose just love in that space, he reflects that right back to me, and then we can both relax into each other's presence. And so your divine masculine really desires for you to feel safe, feel secure, feel received in your own energy, and really be able to provide that within yourself. If you have an upset with being able to do that, using the mirror exercise is going to be super important. It's going to really help you relax into loving yourself into that space without looking for that love outside of yourself, looking for that reassurance from your divine masculine, looking to your divine masculine to create that safety or that security or that peace or that relaxation. When you can really give that to yourself, you will find that will naturally move through your masculine, but you're not looking to them to provide it because they are not your source. God is. So if you want more support on your twin flame journey, definitely check out twinflamesuniverse.com, where you will find free resources there. And also check out the Twin Flame Ascension coaches. They are amazing and are ready to help you work through all of your blocks in your union into harmonious union with your twin flame. I will talk with you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.